science and engineering it took to recover this gold.
Welcome to the All Gold Everything podcast, a podcast for people who are tired of losing the Powerball.
Right?
I'm tired of going to check my ticket and not winning anything.
Well, I have a confession.
Yeah.
I don't know that I've checked like my last 3 tickets.
You could be a winner.
Well, here's what. I used to have that type of like excitement and think, oh, I could be a winner because I haven't checked it. But apparently there's a game and it's all programmed. And if I won, they would have known I won. So
true.
That's a little bit disappointing.
Yeah, it does take a little bit of the excitement out of it. But I do think that, like, okay, so what you're referring to is the fact that, like, if you play Powerball and you win Powerball, you know, the Powerball organization knows that there's a winner and they know where the ticket was sold. I don't know if they know who you are, depending on how you paid for your ticket.
No, they don't know I won, but
they
like,
would know someone
They would
won.
know there was a winner.
Yeah. And now I don't know if that's only for the grand prize or if that's for like all of the prizes, but at the very least, it does take a little bit of the wind out of the sails of thinking you won the grand prize when you see that the jackpot rolls over because nobody won.
I'm here to win the grand prize. I'm not like trying to win like $10. Like, no.
I don't need your $4 got 3 numbers right.
What I don't want is to get like 5 out of 6 numbers and then be told I won $1,000.
Yeah,
like,
sucks.
what kind of shit is that? I hit 5 numbers and I get $1,000.
The kind of shit we're signed up for playing Powerball.
Yeah. So I haven't checked like my last 3 tickets.
That's really funny.
And yet I keep playing because I believe.
Yeah, I agree. It's fun. And I love doing it as part of the show. So anyway, but I tell you what, I am tired of losing the Powerball. And I've started to, and that's a weird shift for me to even refer to it as losing Powerball because I'm such an optimist that I usually say I'm tired of not winning, which is like a little bit different perspective than like admitting that I'm losing a Powerball.
Yeah. And you know what? This is like when the woo-woo side actually comes out of me because I'm super cynical, but I have like a big chunk of woo-woo in me.
Yeah.
And this is a place where the woo-woo comes out. Like, when I'm meant to win Powerball, I will win Powerball. Yeah. Like, I feel so much peace around this. I really do.
Well, I love it because I just can't wait for what it's going to do for our podcast when one of the 3 of us wins Powerball and like we are part of this show. It's going to be crazy.
Oh, I know.
It's going to happen. So
I also have kind of like vowed, like I won't tell anybody. I don't want to like publicize it and I'll go to court for that.
No, because you don't want to end up like Kim Kardashian. You don't want to be kidnapped in Paris for all of your money and jewels and stuff.
No, and I don't want people coming out of the woodwork being like, oh, I need $10,000 to buy a taxi in Ethiopia. So you're just going to notice, like, we're not going to say anything, but you, the viewer and the listener, will notice an upgrade.
A level up.
You'll be like, whoa, they've really leveled up. Did they get a sponsor? Yes, it's my Powerball winnings. Yes.
Responsible for the glow up. I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. So one of the things that, we've been off the air for 2 weeks. We took a little hiatus because you went and saw your daughter graduate from college.
I did.
It's so exciting. Congratulations. She has contributed to the show as well. She's the show contributor in a couple of ways. And she graduated from school, and how exciting.
It was very exciting. She has a bachelor degree.
2.
Yeah, from an Ivy League university.
Whoa.
And she's off out in the world. And it's kind of like, it was, because I've been to several graduations and I've been to my own, which I thought had its fair share of pomp and circumstance being affiliated with a medical school. There was like bagpipes and shit.
Whoa.
And I thought that was a really big deal.
Yeah.
No, this like tradition on tradition on tradition. It was an entire weekend
of all the tradition.
And we were like busy nonstop with everything. And it's a really big deal. It was a trip. It was a trip and a half to be a part of, and obviously an honor and a privilege to be a part of. Although my daughter is finally going through her adolescence and she's too cool for school and doesn't want any part of it.
Yeah.
She's just like...
It's hard at that age because that's something that's interesting because you mentioned all this tradition, and I think to myself, when I look back on all the opportunities that I had to participate in tradition, especially around like graduation from university, at the time I was like, ew, who cares? Like, where's the party? I don't want, I was drinking pretty, there was something else going on for me too, but I just did not have any kind of like reverence for tradition. And like today I'm such a, I'm in such a different space, but I don't have many traditions like that to participate in to really feel the gravity of like how many hundreds of years people have been doing this or how many, so it's like, so it's kind of like a shame that sometimes it's lost on us in the moment. I was going to ask you, what was your favorite of all the traditions? I mean, I knew that you were headed into a weekend of tradition. Of all of the things that you did, what was like the most, was any of it powerful or moving for you, or that you really enjoyed? Like, I thought like, this is really fun, or this is really...
Well, I would.
Or the opposite.
My expectation would be seeing her handed her degree, and the way that they do the whole course of the weekend is the handing off of the degree is the very last thing that happens, and it's in a very small, just among their college. So basically, you can get all the photo ops you want. It's small and intimate, but it's the very last thing. So I'm exhausted by then, and I'm just like, get over with it. Get the damn degree. I don't care about the picture with the trustees. And it was really funny because the photo ops were with the trustees. Yeah. And who
are they? Are they like hundreds of years old? Are they famous, or are they old, or what's
I think a trustee has to do with I give this school a lot of money.
Yeah, rich.
Right. Like I give this school a lot of money, so I'm asked to participate in these commencement services. And my daughter, she's too cool for school. Yeah. I have to say, like, there is a fair amount of hypocrisy. So she's not coming from simply like this adolescent too cool for school behavior. It's more of a early 20s
commentary
idealistic
on social justice,
fight the power, fuck the man thing. So people were coming up with the trustees and getting close and giving hugs and taking all these like, we love you photos with the trustees. And the photo of my daughter with the trustees is like, get the fuck away from me. I don't know who you are, but
not impressed.
So what I was saying was I thought that would be the highlight, but it wasn't. I mean, I think globally the highlight was they have, when it comes to traditions, there was other awesome shit, non-tradition. We went to the big campus dance, and that was supposed to be more fun than it turned out to be. But they have this tradition where when I dropped her off as a freshman, they had a convocation ceremony where they walk through the Van Winkle gates. Yep. And they're the famous gates, and then they close the gates, and you are not allowed to walk through the Van Winkle gates until graduation, and they stay closed. These gates don't open.
They don't open
all
year.
And then when you graduate as a senior, you get to walk through them. And so they have this huge procession, and I was like, oh, the class is just going to walk through the gates.
Yeah, that's what I would think.
They should have said it was a fucking parade because that's what it was. And then I was like, fuck, it's hot. I don't want to do this. But it turned out to be, I think, the best part because I got a shot of her coming through in a parade, sort of it was way more of a like celebratory parade coming through the gates, and that was really cool because that, to me, more than the handing of the degree was a mark of her accomplishment. She's like, walking out of the gates, you're done, you're not a student, you went to this university, you don't go to this university.
How
and
cool.
So it was really exciting, and she's an adult with some adolescent features, but overall she's an adult.
It's awesome.
Go get it, girl.
Congratulations.
Fight
It's fantastic.
Save the world with compassion and empathy.
That's right.
Oh God, I could go off on that bullshit
on compassion and empathy.
Oh, the whole message of everything was how they're going to save the world, change the world, stop global warming with compassion and empathy.
How about just like go do, just
with
be
compassion and empathy.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so Kai has arrived because she has graduated. This is a beautiful segue. We have arrived because we got some big time fan mail this week. Oh, fan mail. I got to give a shout out to my dentist, Dr. Elise D'Ambrosia at MK Dentistry. She's a huge super fan. She gave us this super cute card that says, "We're amazing."
You know what? Just the card alone is so thoughtful.
It's so thoughtful. My favorite line in the card alone says, "All gold everything is the underscore capital letters best podcast. Makes my commute to and from work enjoyable, and I often take detours on my way home so I can finish an episode."
That's like the realest shit I ever heard, because I can relate to that. Not with this podcast, obviously, but I can relate to that with other, like, that's a good podcast.
Yeah, so
oh my
it was
gosh.
so sweet. She gave us, she also provided us with a couple of DCs because she knows that we drink DC.
And so does that mean your dentist is signing off on your consumption?
Oh my God, this is really, and she gave us candy. She gave us Skittles and M&Ms, peanut M&Ms. And it's so funny because right before she gave me this little gift basket, she's like, "I know I'm a dentist. I know I'm not condoning candy." It was just so fun. Like, she really acknowledged like how like
torn she was.
Yeah, kind of like how risque it was to be a dentist gifting candy and Diet Coke.
Well, that's why we like you, Dr. D'Ambrosia.
Dr. D'Ambrosia, she's like basically if you were a dentist. We might have to have her on the show, you know?
And I need a new dentist. Is she into like nitrous or something?
Like, I don't know. I don't require any, I don't ever require like, sedative for dental work, but I will say that she's so good with like the numbing and the Novocaine that like, okay, so we were in last week and Jeff's daughter had a cavity, her first cavity ever. She's never had one before. And Dr. D'Ambrosia was like looking at it. She's like, "Oh, you have a cavity. Oh, I'm going to take care of it right now. Zip, 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 done." And like Jeff's daughter was like, what? Before she even knew it, that like her cavity was all taken care of, and it was like no anxiety, no tears, no nothing, done deal.
Yeah.
So
here's what I have developed. So the one thing that becoming sober uncovers is things like depression and anxiety.
Yeah, that's true.
And I've definitely talked about depression, and that like I joke about it, but it's real.
Yeah.
And it's like I think I suffer from depression, and it took me a long time after taking the alcohol away, and then going through the process of a spiritual awakening in early sobriety, and then coming back to like a baseline and realizing that my neurochemicals are a little bit off, and now I don't have anything to sort of anesthetize them.
Yeah.
That's sort of been my process at this point. The other thing that has been revealed is I have significant anxiety around the dentist. And I would, through all of so it took me until I was about 4 years sober to just go to the dentist.
Yeah.
And I went to the dentist, and it was like severe cleanings, and I think I had a cavity, and I had to get my crown replaced because I got my crown in like college when I was poor, and so I paid somebody $500 to put on a shitty crown.
Yeah. Did you get a gold crown?
No, it was just a cracked crown.
When you got it replaced, did you get it?
No, I don't think so.
It's funny because a friend of mine just got a crown, and she's like, oh, and the dentist told me to get gold, and I'm like, oh, you basically have like a grill. You're so, she had like 2 of them.
Oh.
But Dr. D will not do, I don't think she does metallic fillings. She'll only do like teeth colored ones.
Oh yeah,
she
I
wants
have
your
that.
teeth to look.
They don't do metallic fillings anymore, I don't think. But anyway, what I found, so it took me 4 years to go to the dentist, and I powered through it because I'm fucking sober and I don't need anything, and I'm sober, and I powered through it, and I would be in the chair just like crying because what I didn't realize, because I was powering through it because I'm sober, is I'm having like mini panic attacks in the chair
in the
because
dentist chair.
For whatever reason, I don't know what it is. There's something about the mouth, and for me, it does trigger anxiety. So
a lot of people.
I did really well.
Yeah.
I went and I got all my cleanings every 6 weeks. I've been flossing
like a maniac.
Ever
You're
since
the queen
then.
of Cocoa Floss.
I floss
Actually,
every day.
I feel like Cocoa Floss should sponsor us. We need to talk to them.
I love Cocoa Floss, and I use it every day, and I'm not lying. But I've been about a year from my last cleaning because they told me that like one of my fillings I think was cracked and needed to be replaced, and I'm like, I can't do it.
God, you gotta go see.
I can't go back.
You gotta see Dr. D.
And so so I think one of the things I was thinking is maybe it's just my dentist. Maybe my dentist just like isn't like, I'm not communicating well enough, or my communication isn't being received, and then like my tears are not like triggering any new behavior.
I feel like that's I feel like your dentist is not paying attention to you, because I will tell you, when I'm in the dentist chair and Dr. D is doing dental work on me, she will notice if I even wince. Like if I even like squint my eyes a little bit, she's like, is that okay? Are you okay?
Yeah.
So I do not require sedative for dental work. So I don't know if they do like fully sedated dental work, but they might. I
don't think nitrous is fully sedated.
Or even, so even like
fully sedated sounds a little excessive.
But people do that. They call that like dream dentistry or something.
Right, but I think that, I would hope that that's for more than just a cleaning. Like it's the cleaning that amps me up.
Yeah.
Like the cleaning.
But I feel like they probably do, because they're the official dentist also of the Portland Thorns and Timbers. So they see a lot of high profile. And us.
Dr. D'Ambrosia, do you take Delta Dental?
We'll get you hooked up after the show, for sure. So we got our first some of our first big fan mail, which was great. The other thing I want to ask you is, have I arrived? I got a DM the other day.
Was it a dick pic?
It was not a dick pic.
Damn.
I know, but it was a DM from a company asking me if I wanted to be an influencer for them.
Nice.
But it's a company called Sexy Farms.
Even better. Send them my way. I will say hells yes.
I thought that we could do this because actually their clothes are really cute, but the problem is like
Sexy Farms? Is it like...
It's actually like swimwear and athleisure. You know, and I don't know why the name Sexy Farm. So
thank you.
Actually,
swimwear.
I know.
No, thank you.
So I DM'd them back. They said they messaged me, and I DM'd them back, and they said like, okay, I'm intrigued. I'll take the bait. What's the story? You know? And they're like,
at a charge. You just have to pay.
Yeah.
Oh.
So no, that's not exactly what they said. I have to pull it up because I do want to get it right. I should have had it pulled up before. Okay. So they said, we think you'd be a perfect join for the Sexy Farms family as a model or ambassador. All you have to do is order something from us online, just cover the shipping, and we take care of everything else. So you order like 2 products or something and you pay for the shipping and then you tag them in your posts on them or something. But the stuff's cute, but I just don't know about having to hashtag sexy farm. So jury's out on whether or not we've arrived as influencers, but people are starting to approach us. That's all I'm saying. So when you're ready to sponsor the All Gold Everything podcast, just hit us up and we'll see what we can do for you.
Oh, some of their stuff is cute.
Yeah, it's cute, right? I mean, I don't know what the quality is like. So I did not do this yet.
So can we be clear?
Yeah.
They're going to pay for the items that you purchase. All you have to pay for is shipping.
Yes.
Then do it.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it because I just feel like, let's see, I would be curious about doing a review of their stuff to see like,
I mean, they've got tops and leggings.
Yeah. To see what the quality is like. And especially if they're going to pay for everything and I only have to pay shipping. That's amazing. And ambassadors just, spread the word. You don't have to like post pictures. If you're a model, then you have to like post pictures and do social media on it. But if you're an ambassador, you just have to talk about it, which we could talk about it here all the time. So anyway, let me know what you want. Let's give it a shot.
Well, it was in your.
I know, but we're a team.
Well, I know, but I'm not a team on your Instagram. And
I mean,
I don't. Here's what, Heidi. I don't Instagram photos of me working out. Like,
I know, that's true. That's
I might
how
have
this
done
came
this
about.
once in my life.
Yeah.
So it's not my deal. So
I know, but you could. Anyway, we'll work the details out.
I'm looking at the yoga clothes and I'm like, I would wear that, but would I Instagram it?
No,
probably
but that's
not.
the thing is, as an ambassador, you don't have to Instagram it. You just have to talk about it, which we talk about it on this. So
okay.
Anyway, we can talk about that. We can also cover that later.
I also am not very good at purchasing new gear ever.
That's true. Your gear you have had some of your gear for a very, very long time. But it speaks to its quality and it's standing up to
That's true.
to good use. Okay, last time that we were podcasting, we were talking a little bit about TV.
Yes.
And I don't know if you had an opportunity to watch Dead to Me.
I did.
Oh my God.
I'm on like episode 5.
How do you feel about it?
I like it, but I have to tell you, the first episode, I was like, who is Heidi? Why would she say this? Why would she say that this is dark and funny? What the fuck is happening? This is
just
terrible.
dark.
Because the whole first episode is really actually bullshit until the very last scene.
Yeah.
Like the first episode is just like,
I can't remember what happened, so just go ahead. Spoiler alert.
Oh, I mean, it's just like, my husband died. I'm going to support group. I'm making a friend. Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, it's just like all this, like, like nothing's happening.
Yeah.
And it's just a lot of just kind of whining, honestly. It's just a bunch of like women whining to each other. And I'm like, this is so weird. I don't know why Heidi would say this is good. Like I thought I knew Heidi.
I thought I knew Heidi. Oh my God, that's funny.
And then it showed the very last scene reveals the kind of the darkness.
Yeah.
And it reveals, like the very last scene reveals the beginning of the plot, right? And I could tell this is going to be a twisty turny thing, so that's why I say the beginning of the plot, not the whole plot.
Yeah.
And then it catches, and then you're on the ride.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I do think that there are periods of it where it moves like pretty slow, but there are enough twists and turns that got me like, oh yeah, okay, I'll do another one.
Yeah.
All right, I'll watch another one.
Well, ever since that first episode, it's cool. I'm on the ride. It is a little bit like I feel like there is a little bit too much dialogue, frankly, between the women. They are a little bit boring, but Christina Applegate's character, like I was actually a little bit introspective because I'm like, fuck. She reminds me of me, and nobody died in my life. Like her anger, I can like kind of relate to. Except I didn't just lose my husband. My husband's right here. He's great. He's fine.
I
He's,
love
like,
it. Have
really
you gotten
healthy.
to the episode where she like unloads on the gal where she yells at her at the grief meeting? Where
one
is
when
that the end of the first episode? I can't remember.
No, it's the second episode.
Okay, yeah.
When she finds out that she didn't actually lose her husband.
Yes. Oh my God. I was like, oh my God, that is some real. That was where I was hooked because I'm like, that's some real shit that I would like love to see in real life.
Well, that's what I would do.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, oh, you're so angry. And I'm like, I relate to her.
Yeah.
Of course she should express those feelings.
Yeah.
It's fucked up to be grieving and have somebody lie. Like I had her back and everybody was like, oh, you're scary.
Yeah, in
and
the
I
show.
was like,
Yeah.
No, that's our culture.
Yeah,
that is our passive aggressive culture on display. This is 2019 and this is where our culture is right now. Super passive aggressive. It is scary.
Well, and I think that's why people are relating to this show, right?
Yeah.
Because there are people who have real fucking feelings that are like, that are big feelings, that are intense feelings, that are often met with this bullshit passive aggressiveness of like that's too much.
You are not allowed to be angry.
Yeah.
And I really thought that, like, I talked talked about this revelation, like I really thought it was just the community that I was forcing myself to be in. But it turns out that it is. I mean, it absolutely is there too. But it's really, I don't know if it's just the western side of the United States.
Oh, like West Coast culture to be.
I don't know if it's just West Coast culture. I don't know if it's more becoming a global culture, but it's actually our culture that I'm living in right now. It's like, it is not okay to be angry. It's scary. Like I haven't like punched anybody like since I was in high school. Like I am not a dangerous person, but I have feelings. And if that had happened to me, I am certain I would have done the same thing. Yeah. Absolutely.
And it's actually, and it's so healthy to be in touch with those feelings, right? It's not healthy to be like pretending everything's fine or to be pretending like that's not okay. I mean, it's like,
what I learned on this last trip, I'm in a bit of an unhealthy relationship with a family member, and we have an unhealthy relationship. And it's a relationship with somebody who's unable to meet me where I am, hasn't been able to meet me where I am for years. And so I cannot share with this person that what this person does that makes me angry.
Right.
Because it's just not, it's not going to get us anywhere. It's not going to help. That's been proven. So in that situation, because I need to stay in the relationship, from a distance, we need to celebrate family things together. I'm not able to say like X, Y, and Z is why it makes me angry. Yeah. And it makes me sick. Yeah. It makes me physically sick.
Yeah, it's hard
to not be able to
stomach turn, anxiety.
Good for us.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. No, I totally think that's why I agree with you that we are kind of living in this culture, certainly West Coast culture, of everything being like tampered down, chilled, like positive vibes, whatever. But I think it's unhealthy for our actual feelings to like not surface in this way. Yeah. And so I think that's partly why this show is resonating with tons of people, are like just loving seeing this woman fucking show up and lose her fucking shit like a real human.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's one thing to not see real humans on TV anymore, or to only see extreme forms of real humans on TV, like with The Bachelor or Bachelorette or reality TV, where people get drunk and fucking lose their shit. Yeah. But like in real life, we have stopped being real humans and having feelings. Yeah. And so it's like, I think that more than any of the other, the plot lines are good and the twists and turns are good, but like people are resonating. Now, I haven't heard as many people articulate that this is why, but I have a very real sense of like, this is why, because it hit home. I mean, it resonated for me too.
And I think a lot of people just haven't gotten to that point within their lives and their emotional growth where they are like there yet. Like, oh yeah, I'm angry and I suppress my anger and that's why I'm resonating with her. But just on like even a more shallow level, why this is like kind of wonderful too is like these are both like Christina Applegate and her co-star, I don't know her name, but they're both like women who like kind of had their popularity in the 90s. So they've aged about 20 years and now they're on TV. And Christina Applegate, even though you could tell she does have some fillers, maybe some surgery, she looks her age.
She does. Yes.
And I appreciate that too.
Yep. And so does her co-star.
Yeah. Her co-star also looks her age. Yeah. And it's like, they're not these like kind of like false ideas of what they should look like, and they're kind of like owning their age. Like this is a show,
and they do further into the show. They do more and more.
And this is a show about like women our age, and it's like usually it's like, who wants to see that? Well, I guess this is
everyone.
I guess this is the new demographic, right? Yeah. We are that demographic to target. But so that's another reason why I appreciate it. So yes, the first episode I was like questioning everything about our friendship, but now I'm with you. I stuck with it, I'm totally with you.
I'm glad. Speaking of women and aging and being their age in this demographic, the other thing that's happening this week is Big Little Lies is coming out with their second season.
And I think it might be better than the first. I haven't
watched it yet. Have you seen it? Have you seen all of it? Or what's the story?
Yeah, we watched. Okay. So this is when I learned that my sweet, loving husband, God bless him, he's special in so many ways.
And he loves you.
He does.
And you love him.
He loves what is like traditionally categorized as like women's TV.
Yeah.
So he's watching Dead to Me with me. Good. And he watched Big Little Lies with me. I think he liked Big Little Lies more than me.
Yeah.
Is it called Big Little Lies?
Yeah.
Okay. So we watched the whole thing. We loved it. We loved the soundtrack.
Yeah. Well, oh God, the soundtrack is like its own cultural movement. Like there's a whole nother thing happening around like the soundtrack and the cinematography of the opening of that show, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I didn't totally love the story. Like I have some stuff I do not like. Season. I cannot I really struggle with watching women being brutalized, and I don't like to see it on TV. So I do have some stuff,
right?
But so it wasn't like the best show ever for me, but I liked it enough to stick with it.
Yeah, it was hard to watch. The first season was hard to watch.
Yeah. So I'm watching the trailers for the next one, and I'm like, I feel like this could be better than
Meryl
the first
Streep
one.
has joined the cast.
Yes, I think Laura Dern's going to play a bigger role, because I have to say
I love Laura Dern.
She was our favorite character.
Yeah.
We loved her character, and so I think she's going to it looks like she's going to play a bigger role.
I'm going to have to sign up for a temporary HBO Now membership, like a trial membership, just so I can get watching on Big Little Lies. That's what I did last year.
Well, here's what. All Gold Pod listeners, just send Heidi your password.
That's right. Send me your password, send me your login, or go ahead and sign up and become a Patreon so I can afford to get HBO.
Oh, that's funny.
That's a bit of a stretch. Become a Patreon so Heidi can be an HBO subscriber. Thank you very much. And then the last thing that I watched this week while you were gone was I did put in some time on Schitt's Creek.
Yay!
Which was pretty funny. I have to say, I liked it a lot. At some stage, I started to binge watch it, and I watched like 3 episodes, and then it was on in the background. I was like folding laundry and stuff. So they kind of got away from it, but like all of it's so relatable.
So my good. God. I love it.
It's probably the best show that's not on anymore. It's really good.
I love the character of the mother. I would just want to, she's...
Oh, what is her? Catherine O'Hara, right?
Yeah.
Catherine. She's so great because, I mean, every time I see her, all I can think of is the mom from
Home Alone,
right? Yeah, and she's like such a great maniac mom in that movie.
Yeah.
And what was I reading? Of course, there's that Instagram meme that's like the older I get, the more I realize that like the most unrealistic part of Home Alone is like how they live in that house in Chicago and have 9 kids and like, you know, like, do you remember the house? And it's like a mansion, and they're both supposed to be like pretty regular people, or I don't know.
Oh, I don't even know that it went. It's been so long, but anyway. I didn't even know that I don't think I ever knew what the parents did for a living. But what was I going to say?
About Schitt's Creek.
About Schitt's Creek. So I love David Rose, too. Yeah. He's just such
the brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just such a great character. So lovable. But like Alexa Rose, I was just like, found myself at first, like kind of like, why is there, I love that they're like in their late 30s. Yeah. These children.
These adult children.
Yeah. And I'm like, why are we glorifying this, you know, her and how she lived her life? And then I was hooked. And then I'm like, oh, I see. Yeah. I get it. And it's just like, I'm finding myself like I just love her character.
Yeah, there's some really good self-deprecation that makes her more likable. That I'm like, oh yeah, that resonates. That hits home for me. It's good. So I enjoyed watching that. Thanks for that recommendation. Okay, we're moving into some pop culture stuff around the NBA. This is our NBA pop culture section.
Because I'm such a huge NBA fan.
I know you are. When I think NBA, I think Sandy J. Sandy H. Okay, so first thing we're going to talk about is Drake. Drake is in hot water right now. I sent Mark a picture of this. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can see that here's Drake harassing 2 players from another team. He has been a fixture on the sidelines at the Toronto Raptors games because, as you all know, Drake is Canadian, as you all know. And apparently, I didn't know that he was this attached to the Raptors, but his name is on the Raptors practice facility, so he must have donated like a bunch of money or gave them a bunch of money to name their practice. So he's like a super fan. Drake is the equivalent. Drake is a super fan of Toronto Raptors as Dr. D is a super fan of All Gold Pod.
Can we just stop and have a moment of like, thank you?
Thank you.
Dr. D?
Thank you, Dr. D.
That's how touched we are. We're going to bring this up about every 10 minutes.
Every 10 minutes. You are the Drake. You are the All Gold Pod's Drake.
That's awesome.
Can't wait to tag her in this episode. Okay, so he's a super fan, and he's been getting heated on the sidelines because the Raptors are playing. Well, they just finished the conference finals. They won their series, and so now they're going to the NBA Finals games, which start tonight, actually. So,
whoa.
Huh?
Toronto Raptors.
Yeah.
Are part of the NBA.
That's right. They're an expansion team. They've been around for like 30 years or so, but...
Because they're Canadian.
Now, this did offer... If the Portland Trailblazers had gone a little farther in their conference, if they had... Now, they just lost to Golden State, so actually the NBA Finals will be the Toronto Raptors and Golden State Warriors.
That's kind of a big deal.
It's a big deal, but if it could have been...
But they're Canadian.
They are. Now, it could have been the Toronto Raptors versus the Portland Trailblazers, and that would have been interesting because the Portland Trailblazers have a player who's Turkish, who is safe from being extradited, who is a political, who is like very politically active and is potentially kind of has like, and in Turkey, they want him back, basically.
They want him back to punish him?
Yeah. So the U.S. has refused to send him back to Turkey. But
unless he starts playing bad, then they're going to send him back.
But Canada does not have that non-extradition treaty. So if the Portland Trailblazers had won against the Warriors, and we had been looking at a Raptors Trailblazers final, he would not have traveled to Canada to play.
Oh, right, because they could go get him.
Yeah. So anyway, that didn't happen.
That's some real shit.
That
right
is
there,
some real shit,
it?
though. Just to kind of like bring it all back down. That didn't happen. What did happen though is that Drake's been on the sidelines at these Toronto Raptors games. He's been making a fucking scene every day, every call, every game, to the extent that the NBA released a statement today saying that Drake is a global embarrassment to the National Basketball Association organization. Keep in mind, this is an organization that employed the likes of Lamar Odom, who we're going to talk about in a minute, and any other number of like maniac,
Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman. Anyone remember the name Dennis Rodman ringing a bell? So like, I don't really know if Drake's sideline behavior could be considered the biggest global embarrassment of the NBA, but it's kind of funny to laugh about because I mean, seriously, for me, if Drake could show this kind of intensity that he's got around basketball in his music,
right,
I would be on board.
Yeah.
I mean, the mumble rap is not for me. I need a little more intensity. So it's good to know that Drake has that in him, but he's getting in trouble for it.
I think that these sports are the new, I mean, this is not going to be popular with sports fans, but this is the next wave of reality television. I believe that these playoffs were largely scripted, and so him jumping in here and making it a show is right in alignment with Denise Richards getting drunk at dinner and saying that her husband's penis is so big.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's just that adding shock value to the show. Ooh,
yes,
woo!
And it's good for ratings, right?
And it's good for ratings.
Right.
It's going to
like I'm going to tune in tonight to see what Drake's doing. I want to know what he's wearing. I want to know what he's doing. I want to know who he's sitting next to. I would love nothing more than if he was sitting next to Rihanna.
It's big money.
Big money.
Big money.
Big money. The other thing I didn't know, we were talking about this story before the show.
And then if not enough people are watching, the NBA gets to put out a statement saying he's a global embarrassment. And guess what? Boom, boom. More people are watching.
We're talking about it.
Oh, I'm so cynical, but it's the truth. It's the truth, people. It's the truth.
It's a funnel for Drake's dad's project.
Oh, he's a PIMP.
Drake's dad is legit a pimp? Is this the story that you're trying to say?
No, he's not like legit. Like he doesn't like, prostitute women.
Okay, that's what I thought you were meaning. So that's good.
He's just
I'm glad I clarified.
Drake's dad. He's a character.
Yeah.
I'll say that. So here's a photo of Drake's dad.
Oh, look at him. He's got kind of a Snoop vibe.
Yeah, he's just...
Look at that mustache. Oh my God.
When I say he's a PIMP, I'm not referring to the sex trade or sex trafficking. I'm just referring to his
personal style.
He's so fly.
Yeah.
Look at that man.
That hustle. Look at that hustle he's got going on.
Fly.
So he's getting his own talk show?
He's getting his own talk show.
And do you think it's filming in Canada or the U.S.?
So...
Just trying to figure out if I need a passport for when we go.
His name is Dennis Graham.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know that he's like super in touch with Drake. Drake grew up without a father.
Oh, okay.
So this is
probably not then.
This is they are now. I think now they're thick as thieves now.
Curious how everyone comes out of the woodwork once your name's on the practice facility at an NBA game.
Right. So now that Drake's famous, they're thick as thieves, but I don't know like how really thick. I don't know if they're really thick as thieves.
Right.
I just know that they've reunited and made appearances. And Drake's father's is frequently in the media because of his antics. So now he's getting a talk show, and the premise of the talk show is he's going to interview famous people's parents.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Would you watch that?
I don't know. I'm trying to think about what my mom would say about me when
You are famous.
Yeah, when Drake's dad interviews my mom, she'll probably say I was a cute baby. She'll probably tell the story about how we were in the grocery store when I was 3 years old, and I had this like black mop of curly hair, which I will post this picture on social media.
It's such a good photo.
It was really
you
good.
have several times, right? Is that the one you're talking about?
It's my favorite picture. And my mom hadn't showered in days, and some woman was like, "Oh, did you set your baby's hair in curlers?" My mom was like, "She's a baby. Why would I put her hair in curlers?" I don't know. It's her favorite story. So I don't know what my mom would say about me.
My mom has any famous or any stories about me that would be particularly meaningful.
She'd think of one.
Yeah.
Anyway, Drake's dad, when you're ready for our parents to be on the show, our moms to be on the show, just let us know. Just DM us. We'll get you hooked up. It'll be good. Okay, so moving on to the next NBA story is that Lamar Odom has released a tell-all memoir.
This guy.
What are you calling this? Have you read any of it? Me neither. So
I read a
disclaimer.
Well, and I'm not gonna read it because I got the highlights from a Daily Mail article.
Yes,
where he's just a broken man. So sorry, Lamar, but God damn it, like
let's call a spade
get your
spade.
shit together,
Yeah.
Lamar. Lamar Odom. What was I gonna Google about him for this? Anyway, I don't remember. So we all know Lamar Odom. He was married to poor Khloe Kardashian, who has some serious daddy issues because she cannot pick a man. She cannot.
She needs to read my book.
Like her picker is broken AF.
Broken.
But I think that she has probably always been attracted to like NBA players, and he fit the bill. And we know he has issues. Some of them are probably mommy issues because he talks about in the book how she's his angel because her face reminded him of his mother.
Oh wow!
And so I
don't know. That's a little
red flag, ladies. Red flag, ladies.
Yeah, if your man says that your face reminds you of his mom, I mean,
don't marry him.
No,
do not marry him.
He's gonna be looking for you to mother him.
Yes, and that's basically what he said was that he was with her, he married her, he stayed with her because she nurtured him so well. And by nurturing him, what he meant was, he said he slept with over 2,000 women.
What?
He broke he said the way he described it, which I appreciated him describing it this way, he broke his vows with her just like more times than he can count.
Right.
He had a drug addiction, a sex addiction, and...
I mean, they were not even married that long. How many years is 2,000 days? Like, 2,000, if he was fucking one woman a day for 2,000 days.
Yeah, I don't know if all 2,000 were while they were married.
Wow.
Yeah, probably not. But because I don't even think they were married that long.
I don't think so either. I think they were married for like 2 years.
While he was playing in the National Basketball Association, which I still don't understand how a Canadian team is in the National Basketball Association, but whatever.
We'll overlook. We'll look at it.
They're expanded into Canada. But we don't have any Mexican teams.
I know. I'm ready for a Mexican team.
What's up with that, vato? Anyway. The big thing about this story and this photo, and it's dark, and there's a reason for this because we're about to show another dark one, is he had a serious drug addiction. So what, and we all know, well, we might not all know. So what happened was he got in a fight with Khloe one night, and it was probably because she like got wind that he was cheating,
sleeping with everybody.
And he left to the bunny ranch. He was afraid she was going to divorce him, and he went to the bunny ranch. And the bunny ranch is a
legalized prostitution
brothel in Nevada.
Yes,
and whose owner is now dead. He's been dead for a year. So one of what we know happened to him was that he went on the 4-day drug binge, sex and drugs with these poor prostitutes. And he did pretty much every drug in the book. The reports say that the doctors were like, literally every drug we tested for was in his system.
Was positive, yeah.
Yeah, and he also...
lucky to be alive.
And his sort of drug of choice was crack and cocaine, which is in alignment with what happened to him there. And so while he was there, they finally took him to the hospital after 4 days. He suffered 6 strokes and 12 seizures.
Yeah.
And he is saying in his book, because he went to recover, like he recovered. It was a really long recovery because his brain is permanently injured. Yeah. It's fried and permanently injured. And he still smokes pot.
I saw that on an interview that he gave and I couldn't believe it.
And I think he still drinks.
Yeah, I think so too. I didn't hear that part, but I did hear the part about him smoking pot.
But what he's saying is that this former owner of the bunny ranch poisoned him. Now, now what do you think of that, Heidi?
Oh, I don't believe that for 1 minute. Nice try, trying to pass it off on a dead guy who can't say, who can't argue back.
Right.
I wonder if he's trying to set up a basis for litigation to sue the bunny ranch or something. I mean, that's crazy to me. This guy clearly has a pattern of drug addiction. So drug addicts, they'll say, we'll say anything.
Right, exactly. So it's just still the rationalization. I mean, I think that is... So when I was drinking, I was driving in a blackout and I drove my car into a wall. And when the next day everything like trickled out and I kind of had to tell people like what happened to my car, even though I knew that I had blacked out and drove into a wall, I wasn't able to admit that to myself or to other people. So I made up a story that like a coyote like jumped in front of my car and I swerved. It was ridiculous because everybody knew that was with me that night that I was drunk that night.
Yeah.
But all my people around me also were enablers, and so they believed what I said.
Willing to take the bait.
Yeah. And this is exactly what it is. It's a symptom of his
sickness.
Yeah. But so I want to go to the next picture because like this is what I want to talk about. So he's still in denial. He still won't admit. So can I talk about what's happening in this photo?
So if you're watching this on YouTube, this is the second picture. If you're not watching it on YouTube, this is a picture of Lamar Odom. I'm assuming in the hospital. There are tubes everywhere.
Yeah.
Sandy's going to tell us what's what.
So he had 6 strokes and 12 seizures. So I'm just because do you see that brown one coming out the top of his head? That's draining out blood from his brain. Is what that's doing.
Yeah.
So he likely had a hemorrhagic stroke. I don't know if he first had an embolic one that converted, but because he was using crack and cocaine, it was probably all bleeding. He probably had 6 hemorrhagic strokes. So 6 different places in his brain.
Brain bleeds.
He's bleeding. And that caused his 12 seizures, which, like you said, fried his brain. That's what seizures do if they're prolonged.
They're like electricity, right? I mean, they're kind of like...
They fry your brain.
Yeah.
So the tube in the top is
basically a doctor
draining the blood. The tube going into his mouth is breathing for him. And the tube going into his nose is feeding him. And so he's clearly in the ICU here in this photo.
Yeah.
This is how sick he got from his disease.
Yeah.
This is where it took him.
Yep.
And now he's out promoting a book denying saying that he was poisoned.
That this wasn't his, that he had no responsibility for this.
Right. And that and so I think that what this is a good illustration of is what I don't think people who don't suffer from addiction understand is this is where our disease can take us.
Yeah.
And this part of him, like he does have some brain, I'm sure he has some brain injury now, which also probably contributes, but because he's so sick with his addiction, he isn't able to see this.
He can't
truly believes, I believe he truly believes that he was poisoned.
Yeah.
And I do believe that is a symptom of his addiction.
Yeah.
And this is
well,
where
and the thing that's crazy about this, I want to weigh in on this I want to weigh in on this too, because the thing that's nuts about this is that denial around addiction and our responsibility for our choices is so deep that like I watched my own father die from alcoholism. I knew that he was drinking himself to death. A year later, after he was dead, I still thought to myself, well, you know, the death certificate does not say alcoholism. The death certificate says that he died from ataxia of the liver. So I thought like, well, that, you know, there are places in my brain where I'm like, that does not say that he died from alcoholism, you know? So it's like, even the people around us can start to buy the story that we're spinning about what our responsibility is, how much of that is on us, how much of that is on someone else or something else, where it's like, you know, I'm a grown, educated woman. I nearly have a PhD. I have a lot of experience with alcoholism and addiction in my life. And I still could not bring myself for probably until like, well, periods of, you know, sometimes I was in acceptance and sometimes I was in denial, but I would say it probably wasn't until 18 months after my dad had died from drinking himself to death that I really was certain that was what had happened.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like, not only is the person in it kind of like, I'm trying to, maybe this isn't as bad as it seems as it is, but the people around them that love them dearly are also kind of susceptible to that. Now, some people have really great boundaries, have done a lot of work, are willing to say like, no, this is the real truth. This is really what happened. But some people aren't, because it's you know, it not only is it a sickness of substance, but it's a sickness of relationships too. You know, like all of our relationships get twisted up when we're either involved with people who are abusing substances, or we ourselves are abusing substances, or we grew up in family where people had different where people had distorted relationships with substances. So it's like a multi-layer. It's fucked up in so many layers, right?
Yeah, you know? Because, and that's like, so what you're saying is, you know, the sickness is not just with the individual who has the addiction.
Right.
So we know Khloe has a sickness,
and
then we can call it codependency or whatever. We don't know when and where it was rooted in. It might be because OJ's her father. I don't know. I'm not sure. That's just guessing. I'm not sure.
I would love that.
And we could talk about Chris. Anyway. But so she needs these stories and so she left him not because of this. They rallied at his side. She left him because
back to him with this. Yeah.
Once he got better, he cheated on her again.
Yeah.
And he kept cheating on her, and that's why she left.
Yeah.
So she needs to, for her sickness, she needs to believe that this story is true so that it could fit with her
narrative, her story.
Right. And that is that it isn't just one person.
Yeah.
It's
a web.
It's a web of illness.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. And just to...
No, I will not. Okay, sorry. There's a song for that.
There is. Well, what I love is that we're shifting into Khloe because Khloe got a nose job, which is happening kind of as the... I think it's kind of a response to this book, frankly. I feel like she knew this was coming out.
She's like, I got to change my face. I
do
don't want to be recognized. And I need a nose that can never, ever snort a line of cocaine.
Oh my God, she got this little tiny nose. Okay, first of all, whatever. I always feel a little bit bad because the Kardashians make up so much of the content that we talk about that I kind of hate to bite the hand that feeds. But I will say, she's so beautiful the way that she was, and now she has this Michael Jackson nose, and it's hard.
But she doesn't see it. So this is one thing that they said at one woman. There was one really great speaker at the commencement said, she's like, if I could wish anything for you guys right now, and you all right now, and she was talking to the people, in the audience who were graduating, the graduating class of 2019. Ooh. She's like, is that you would realize that you are beautiful right now. Yeah. She's like, you will look back at these photos and be like, oh my gosh, I was so beautiful.
Yes.
And we don't
just
know
like tradition being wasted on youth. Also, like sometimes our beauty is wasted on youth because we're so obsessed with looking the next way, looking, the thin waist, the big ass, whatever. We forget that we're just such beautiful humans in the moment.
Right. Yeah. And so obviously Khloe, because she's so under the microscope, she doesn't think she's beautiful. She has these sisters who happen to be more sort of culturally beautiful than her right now. Mm-hmm. I don't think they're more beautiful than her, but what culture is emphasizing right now.
Sure.
They are.
Yeah.
They fit the bill more. They get more likes.
Yeah.
Basically.
They get more likes.
Although she's really putting herself out there. I bet she's getting a good amount of likes these days.
Yeah. I agree.
But do you think she asked for that nose?
I'm conflicted about this because did I send you 2 pictures on this nose? Because here's the other one, and I wish I could zoom in. It looks like a skeleton. I mean, it looks so much like a little skeleton nose to me, like almost the absence of a nose, that it looks a lot like Michael Jackson nose. I wonder if she has cocaine damage to her nose, to her regular nose, and then she had to have most of it taken off because...
So are you suggesting her revenge body makeover might have been aided by substances?
I'm just saying.
God damn it, Khloe.
I don't know. I don't know. Jury's out. But all to say, I wish Khloe would have her regular nose back because I just can't handle this new nose. I can't do it. I just can't. I hope she can.
Yeah, I don't hope anything about Khloe. I'm not expending any of my hoping energy on her. I should be spending my hoping energy on that.
Yes.
But I don't know. I just think it's yet another commentary. I feel like through these things that are presented to us in the media, we could really see how people suffer.
Yeah.
All this tells me is that she just can't be happy with, because she has transformed herself outside of this.
This is true. If you look at pictures of Khloe Kardashian from 15 years ago,
from 3 years ago
to today,
from 3 years ago,
right?
Yeah, she went through her whole revenge body makeover because of Lamar, and I'm sure that a lot of that was surgically enhanced as well, and maybe cocaine enhanced.
Yeah,
I guess that's probably likely now that you bring it up. I had no idea, but it's likely.
I'm just saying, if he was into coke and crack anyway, and she wants to get thin, and there's a lot of coke lying around.
Why not? Why not? It's just I don't know. I just think it's nice how sometimes through these lenses we can actually see, you want to look better, you want to get your look good on, but what I'm seeing is you might have some pain.
Yeah, that's a really good
through
silver
your choices
lining.
in men and your choices in your nose.
And your nose.
Yeah, my only question is did she ask for that or is it a botched situation?
Oh, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it changes in the coming days. Maybe we'll find out. Yes. Right. Okay, into something a little lighter. We are talking the next... I'm trying to figure out where to go from here. We've got a lot more stories. We're running up on time.
Holy shit.
I know. Can you believe this?
All hot topics.
It's all hot topics all day.
That's what happens when we miss a week.
Yeah.
We've got mad hot topics. But I do want to say really quickly, something that I did see was this whole thing about... I guess there's a tape surfacing of OJ in a hot tub bragging he was like with 4 other guys and he was bragging to them that he did Kris Jenner in that hot tub. And he was graphic about it. He said how it went down.
Oh my God. I don't know. Do I love that? Do I have any feelings about that? I mean, do I have feelings about OJ?
I mean, OJ might lie.
That's true. That's true. He's got a track record.
I mean, he'll go on record saying he murdered people.
That's true. He's a murderer.
So he could be lying.
Yeah, and he's a thief. We know he steals stuff. I don't know about that. We have to investigate. We'll have to get Fred Bushy on the case to fact check that one, I think.
Only Chris and OJ know.
Only Chris and OJ know.
And
oh my God. And Khloe.
Well, I know I listened to a podcast with somebody who kind of was in that crowd in that time.
Yeah.
And she's convinced that Chris and OJ were doing it. Well,
Who is it that is convinced?
Heather McDonald.
Yeah. I believe it.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one made me laugh. Okay, a couple of months ago, we did a story about Taylor Swift getting carried into her apartment in a suitcase. We thought, like, it was just like the silliest, craziest thing.
We see you, Taylor.
We see you, T-Swift. We see you. This week, supermodel Cara Delevingne and her girlfriend Ashley Benson were seen carrying a sex bench into their house.
Okay, you sent me this story, and I don't even know who these women are.
Okay, I actually don't know who Cara Delevingne or who Ashley Benson is. I think she might be British because it is in the Daily Mail and the price tag is in British pounds. Cara Delevingne is a supermodel these days, and she's got like she's got a serious brow thing going on, and she also is like kind of gender non-conforming. I think I'm not really sure about that though.
She's non-binary.
I'm not sure that she's like all the way to non-binary, but she does have what is the look with she's got kind of an androgynous look. So anyway, these guys were seen carrying this like expensive sex bench into their house, and it just made me smile because I just feel like, first of all, I wondered if Taylor Swift was actually in that box and if Taylor Swift is going to be on the extreme sex bench with these two, because there is some speculation right now about Taylor Swift's sexuality, which would be an interesting thing for her to come out with. But the other thing is, like, if I were a celebrity, I would do shit like this all the time.
Why not?
Because I feel like these two, and obviously I feel like these two are doing this to get some coverage, to get a little press, to like have a little fun. Because like if they really were like wanting to have some BDSM sex bench like secretly taken into their house, like I'm sure they could find a way to do it without.
Well, yeah, I mean, and they're probably having a party, and it'd be fun to have a BDSM sex bench at the party. Like, why is this even like a thing?
I don't know. I just think it's really funny.
I mean, it's really funny to me because I thought that we were kind of more sexually evolved, where that's like
not a big deal.
Very mainstream.
Why is this even a headline? Is that what you're saying?
That a BDSM sex bench is now like kind of very mainstream. Like I don't think that's racy at all, but I think that with this Donald Trump election and this resurgence of conservatism, it's like, ooh, a BDSM sex bench. Oh my gosh, that's so racy.
I mean, I read it and I'm like, I hope they're having fun. I mean, there are a lot of us out here.
And I have to say, I'm sure it's a prop for a party.
Yeah.
I'm sure that it is.
Yeah.
Or like you said, like it's just a prop for a story to get in the Daily Mail,
right?
Like one or the other,
right? Like, let's fuck with these paparazzi that are sitting outside our house. What can we go get?
They're not going to go buy a bench and track it in and go fuck right there. Like, okay, now go get your leathers on. Like, it just I don't see it working that way.
No, me neither. One of the last stories. There are two more stories to get through. Kit Harington, the much revered Jon Snow, has checked himself into rehab, a wellness center. In the aftermath of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I'd go to rehab too if that were the final episode. They all need to go to rehab.
Yeah.
Those writers need to go to writing rehab.
Well, it is fascinating because actually a lot of the main characters have come out to say that this story and being part of this project has really affected their mental health. And there's a couple of things I like about this. One, I think like I'm glad that everyone's being honest, that like everybody's got feelings and they got to go get them taken care of. You know, like I feel like that's kind of a testament to the evolving acceptance around like mental health stuff and mental health and like the decrease of mental health stigma. But also then I'm like, oh my God, really? Is this, I mean, are actors supposed to like compartmentalize and like separate, you know, I don't know. It's like a little strange to me that like the woman who plays Sansa Stark has talked about having to go to therapy. And the woman who plays Daenerys has talked about going to therapy because of the show.
Well, I mean, have you watched it?
I mean, yeah, I've watched it. It's true. I have watched it.
It's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
I mean, they're like burning children on this show.
There's a lot of very dark stuff. That's true. Yeah. And a lot of like really brutality, a lot of really brutal
brutality.
Stuff.
I mean, in Sansa's character specifically.
Yeah.
I mean, I think everybody has taken a bit of it, but yeah, I mean, it's heavy shit.
So anyway, Jon Snow's getting his head on right, and I just hope that it doesn't end up with him getting divorced from Ygritte because they are married in real life.
Who's he married to?
He's married to the woman who played Ygritte in the show. Who was
right. We talked about that before.
We talked about that. That's like the one Game of Thrones fact that I know that you don't know.
Yeah. I think it's because I blocked it out because I just didn't love that character.
Creepy for you. Or
that storyline.
It was like smarmy, like grimy, like ugh.
Yeah, but because I guess they got that part of the ending right. Like he really did just want to be a wildling. He really did. He fell in love with a wildling. He just wanted to live on the other side of the wall. Just leave me here.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know what that means, but I agree.
I don't want it.
You've got your British accent on, which is good because the next story is about a pack of raccoon dogs that are on the loose in Nottinghamshire.
Raccoon dogs.
How do you say this? Nottingham. This is too many words. This is too many letters. This is too many syllables. Nottinghamshire. It would be fine if it was just Nottingham. Why does it have to be Nottinghamshire?
I don't know.
I don't know where the emphasis goes. I don't know where I'm supposed to like put look at this picture of this raccoon dog. This is like a fucking nightmare for me.
Super cute. It's really cute.
It kind of looks like, one of the things is it looks a little bit like a sheep more than a dog. This looks like a raccoon sheep dog.
It does.
It's like pretty fluffy.
I can get with that.
I don't know. Raccoons are so vicious. I can't even imagine. This looks like the stuff of nightmares for me. I can't.
So vicious.
They are like I think they might be pretty protective.
I've seen cats way more vicious than raccoons. I actually have never seen a raccoon attack, but I've seen a cat attack.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's because raccoons sometimes really fuck up cats, and everyone knows how vicious cats can be. So then, like, you kind of just accept that maybe raccoons are.
I think raccoons are just trying to live their life.
I just want to know how this creature evolved. It has like a very Island of Dr. Moreau feel to me. I don't love that. That seems like a little too bioethically confusing.
I love it because it did evolve. This is not something that we came along and bred.
Oh, it's true. I didn't read the article along with this.
Well, so like I had to. I briefly just had to Google raccoon dog.
Yeah.
It's a thing. It's a real thing.
Yeah, we didn't make it up. It's not photoshopped.
It's like a dingo of Indonesia, basically, or East Asia, I should say. And so it's just like it's like a coyote of East Asia.
Oh my god!
So like we have raccoons, they have raccoon dogs, and it's just, or we have coyotes, they have that. So that's all it is, and they're not related to raccoons at all. They're just dogs, and
but they look like raccoons.
They're in the canine family.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're related to domesticated dogs. They're related to wolves, and they kind of like run and roam free.
Yeah.
And so they kind of have the same stigma around them as like a coyote would in our world. And they just happen to look like raccoons, and that's why they're called raccoon dogs. And you're asking why I'm saying raccoon and not raccoon? Is that right? Raccoon.
Yeah, raccoon. You're saying raccoon.
Is it raccoon?
I'm saying raccoon.
Is it raccoon?
Yeah,
Is that how you say it?
As far as I'm concerned.
I don't know why that. I feel like that word should have an apostrophe. It should be R-A apostrophe C-O-O-N. Raccoon.
Oh, I like that. I
feel like
that.
If I had to rewrite the English language, that would be one of my revisions.
Get the raccoon people on board. The raccoon lobby on our side. We'll rewrite.
And I think it's just because I really like raccoons and I really just want to elevate them. And I don't know why by putting an apostrophe in the word, like,
it's a level up. It's a level up.
I want to elevate the raccoons.
Give them an apostrophe.
They're so cute, and they really are just trying to live their lives and eat your goddamn trash.
They do.
What's the
they
big
want
deal?
Your trash. That's true. They're basically sustainable. They're critical to a sustainable environment.
Why do people get so worked up because they get their trash cans knocked over? Like, do you realize that like where we came from as humans, we used to have to hunt and gather our fucking food, and you're like getting all worked up because your trash can got knocked over, so a raccoon could eat.
So.
Let the raccoon eat.
Let the raccoon eat and live.
Let the raccoon live.
Sandy, I'm converted.
I believe in dogs.
Raccoons and raccoons.
I know, it's really hard to say.
I'm here for it. Oh my God, what an episode this was. We're wrapping it up. We're done. We are spiking the mic. We are hoping to be a global embarrassment to the NBA. We are sending lots of love and light to you from Portland, Oregon. Don't forget.
Stay vigilant.